One Acadian employee says there are things city officials should know before deciding whether to use just one ambulance service. Port Neches and Groves city councils recently voted to keep Acadian Ambulance as their only EMS provider. The decision came after Acadian bought out StatCare EMS in May. That leaves 4 cities in Mid and South Jefferson County with only Acadian as their EMS provider. Port Neches and Groves are already trying things out with Acadian as their only service. Nederland and Port Arthur still have to make that decision. That's this half hour's top story.
Port Neches and Groves have decided to make Acadian Ambulance the city's only EMS provider, but Nederland and Port Arthur are still considering their options. Bobby Wiley, a paramedic for Acadian, says there are things city officials need to know before making their decision.
Their resources are stretched so thin that that's just how it is. I've worked in Vidor and got a call out past Evadale, almost to Silsby, and had to run emergency all the way out there for a possible heart attack.
Riley says it took him over half an hour to get to the patient.
Even if it's not a full-fledged emergency call, no matter what it is, a 40-minute response time doesn't make you feel like you're very important as far as the patient.
Riley says this isn't the first time it's taken him this long to respond to a call. Now he hopes speaking out will keep more patients from having to wait.
They don't suffer, the people do.
When every minute could be a matter of life or death. Wiley, who has experience working for other EMS providers, blames the extended response times on dispatch errors and staffing shortages.
I'm in there many days where they're saying, oh, this is all the paramedics we have, period. If you had another service, you have somebody to fall back on.
But Mike Burney, who works for Acadian, says having 2 services in one city actually increases response times.
If there are 2 providers, that doesn't mean you'll always be getting the closest ambulance service. If the 911 dispatcher has to call each service to find out who's closer to an emergency, that is delaying the response.
That's not the only response being delayed. Nederland tabled the vote on approving a second EMS services request for a permit, and Port Arthur is expected to vote mid-July. Danielle Koser, Fox 4 News.
Tomorrow on Fox 4, we'll have much more from Acadian Ambulance on the matter and why they say response time will decrease if they're the city's only EMS provider.